Penn State football fans, we have a special guest on the BWI Daily edition today. We're going to get to know another player in the class of 2023. Special guest AJ Locke, commit at quarterback. We'll get to him today on the BWI Daily edition. Penn State football fans want to get to know Penn State football commits. We get to that here on the BWI Daily Edition when we have the opportunity to interview some of them. And joining us today, a man who committed on June 2nd to Penn State football. That's quarterback AJ Locke. AJ, thanks for being with us, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So what was that moment like? What was that? Take us through the process of committing for you.
It was surreal. It was really a dream come true. Basically, I was at a camp maybe a summer before that at a U.S. national camp, I believe. And I met Coach Danny O'Brien. And, yeah, it was just up from there. Like, they kept in contact with me through everything, invited me to a whole bunch of games. And, yeah, it just brought a different feeling from Penn State. So I already knew where I was going off the rip.
So you're a preferred walk-on next year. How much have you gotten to know Penn State head coach James Franklin and offensive coordinator Mike Yersich throughout the process?
Those are my guys. Like I can talk to them about anything. We have man-to-man talks, stuff not even about football, like just being in life in general. So like those are my guys.
Tell us a little bit about that relationship and how that's developed over time, because you've come up to, as you mentioned, a couple camps at Penn State, and what drew you to the Nittany Lions when it comes to where you wanted to go for the next level?
What drew me to the Nittany Lions is basically, I feel like every recruit is looking for a family type of environment. That just as soon as you step a foot on the field, it's like you don't even have to be known or anything. They automatically want to get to know you just off the field. And sometimes you got to think like, oh, you're going to be there for the next 3 or 4 years. So it's like, you want to be somewhere where you feel welcomed. And that's all I felt. It just feels so welcoming as soon as you step a foot in Penn State soil.
So you mentioned that you got camp coming up tomorrow, so you wanted to lock in. You wanted to make sure we talked as soon as we got in contact. What are your goals for this upcoming season, and tell us a little bit about what's coming up for you this year?
This season we moved up a division, playing some tougher teams. We play on big stages. We play at Rutgers Stadium. But I really want to go back to back. Last season we went 11-0 with a championship. So I want to go back to back, not lose a game in high school. So yeah, that's really it.
No pressure, just undefeated. Just go undefeated.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you. You're a very interesting person. I think you have a very unique story. So, please, if you don't mind, tell us about your condition.
Yeah. So basically, I was diagnosed when I was younger with a slight case of cerebral palsy, and it's never really affected me in a way because many kids will probably sit there and just sit down and lay down, but you just got to get through it. Like, I never let nobody give me no for an answer, so I always got through it. I always pushed through it, made sure that no matter what I was going to get to where I wanted to go, and yeah, I never let nothing stop me.
So let me ask you, for people who don't know or maybe don't know the depth of that, so can you tell us a little bit about how that affects your day-to-day life, or if it does affect your day-to-day life, having cerebral palsy?
It really doesn't affect my day-to-day life, but it definitely is different for other people to see, because I may not stroll the same way as they do, or they're not used to seeing someone on a football field and pass, getting hit, this and that. But I've been playing football since I was 5 years old, so it never really stopped me. I always wanted to be that one guy on the team that everybody wanted to be after and give motivation to the team to show everybody that since I can do it, you should be able to do it too.
Yeah, that is the first question that comes to mind when you hear something like that. And really the first question is more of a statement, which you kind of just answered. Most people even if they don't mean to, define themselves at least some point by their limitations. I can't do X because Y. I
Yeah.
can't play football because I'm not tall enough or I'm not fast enough, or I can't be something I want to be. I can't be a doctor because I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
Clearly, you don't have that opinion about yourself or that view of life. So where does that come from?
It comes from motivation from my family. It comes from obstacles in my life that I may never like I had to get through. So I never wanted to let anything stop me. Life comes with different things that you have to just figure out on your own. So I feel like people seeing me do this and that, and they like, oh wow, he's doing this, and he has to do all of that, and he's still being able to play like that. I just want to give everybody a different observation on that. You can do anything that you put your mind to. You can do anything. Like, don't let nobody tell you can't.
So where does that come from? Is that an internal thing that you've always believed, or
Yeah,
who go
my
ahead,
my mom is a very big inspiration. She always told me that she's the biggest supporter. Like, she always will let everybody know that, oh, I'm her son. Like, she wants everybody to know that he's not, don't sugarcoat anything. Let him go through everything, because he's gonna get through it. And my uncle that passed away, he was also another inspiration towards me, that he always gave me that, oh, you got lion heart. My coach that I grew up with, he gave it a nickname Lionheart when I was younger, because he said I had the heart of a lion, because I never let nothing stop me.
So it was kind of a no-brainer. You were destined to be a Nittany Lion with a nickname like that.
Yeah.
So what has your journey been like through football? What has your experience been doing what you do?
Well, basically, I started playing football when I was 5 years old for Uniondale Knights, which is my hometown team in Uniondale, New York. But yeah, from there, took youth by storm. I went to every All-American game you possibly could think of. Every 7-on-7 tournament. I always stayed involved, never like put it down. Like, I played in every All-American game as a youth kid and you possibly could think of. I went to Louisiana, Florida, anywhere.
What have you learned through that experience? What sort of, because that seems like you being all over the place probably gives you a new perspective from that age as well. What kind of things did you pick up and learn through your journey?
What I've learned was that everybody's like, in the football world, you would think that certain people would look at me like, how is he doing this and that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I realized a lot of kids like welcomed me, and like they realized that, like, oh, since he can do it, I can definitely do it. So that was the main goal when I started playing football, was to give kids motivation that they can do it too.
Is that a role you want to play for Penn State when you get to the university? And what is going to be your role with the team?
My role with the team is, I want to bring, obviously, a winning tradition. It's a winning tradition over at Penn. So I want to do whatever I can in the QB room, bring them involved. Anything I can do to get involved. Anything Coach Franklin needs, anything all the coaches need, I'm there. There's no question about it. I'm there. So I want to bring that to the team as well. Like, if you can see me do it, you should be able to do it as well. Because I know sometimes in camp it gets tough. Kids get down in college, but like, if you see me doing it, you should be able to give that a little bit of motivation that, oh, he's doing it, I got to be able to do it. There's no way I shouldn't be able to do it.
AJ, you got me fired up, and I'm just sitting here, in my studio. I love this. By the way, I got to say, you have a cannon. Like, not only do you got a strong arm, but also, I don't know that, and I was at the last prospect camp where you visited. I didn't see you throw a ball off target. So all of that work has paid off. You're a good quarterback.
Yeah. I sometimes that's surprised myself, but I just knew I really worked for this. So it's like, I knew the work I put in and what I can do. So I just wanted to show that every time I get up there and I'm at camp, I just want people to know, oh, even though you see this below, I got an arm up top. I can still launch that thing.
Yeah, there was a couple balls that it just like you were throwing towards me, and I got caught me a little off guard where I saw that thing zipping in on out routes and some slant routes. It is impressive. You've also talking about chipping in wherever you can and being motivational, very active on Twitter, one of Penn State's, I'd say, loudest recruiters on Twitter. So have you been getting at anybody? Have you been talking to anybody in the class?
Yeah, especially I would say that our 2023 commits work very hard on kids over recruiting. We want everybody possible. We want everybody to come home. I feel like Penn State's the only option for kids out there that's getting recruited. Like if you have an offer from Penn State, you need to commit now because like you're just it's a different type of vibe that not everyone's gonna get, and you're gonna get school involved. Everything's gonna be good for you. You're gonna get a good opportunity to get because a lot of kids that want to go D1, they want to go to the NFL. So you still have a good opportunity to do that. But off the field, this is somewhere that I feel like it's home. Like you could go from anywhere in the country and come to Penn State and you'll still feel at home. So yeah, I'm on a lot of kids, especially in the Northeast area, that I'm trying to get to come to Penn State.
Well, I'll be keeping tabs on you on Twitter and your activity to see who you're tweeting at, get some intel on that.
Yeah.
Couple more things before we get you out of here. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on. AJ Locke joining us. He's a preferred walk-on in the class of 2023 at quarterback. And let's just talk about the season coming up. I know you're obviously in deep with Penn State football. So what are your thoughts on the upcoming season? What do you think the team is capable of this year?
Oh, I think the team's capable of first knocking off Purdue. Definitely, I feel like that's a statement game, as people don't think that Penn State's coming with a lot of raw or any type of energy that we can be a contender for college football. But I feel like we can get to the college football playoffs just off of our leadership from Coach Franklin and the message that he's installed this season, that he wants everyone to be in tune with everything that's going on. So I definitely think we can definitely be a contender for a college football playoff.
You've got it down pat. 1-0 mentality. Start off with Purdue, and then go from there. Clearly that you've been listening to what James Franklin has to say.
Got to listen to that he has to say. Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about your uncle. Tell me about who he was in your life and how he inspired you.
Well, my uncle, he was married into our family, but it never felt like that ever since he got close to me. He was very memorable to me, and then he always let me know that I never could stop. Because basically, when I was in 8th grade, I moved to Georgia for football, and when I got there, a coach told me that I wasn't able to play. When I heard that, when he told me I wasn't able to play, I was like, should I just lay down and not give up on this? And I really wanted to, but my uncle was always there. He came into the room one day and was like, "You're gonna do this. You're gonna be playing high school football. You're gonna play high school football." And he gave me that motivation, and I made sure that it happened, because when he passed, I made sure that I was gonna let him play through me. So,
do you feel like you fulfilled that promise with this opportunity?
I feel like I made him proud every day.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate your spirit. I appreciate what you represent and what you want to do for others. So, AJ, thank you for coming on and sharing your story here on the BWI Daily Edition.
All right, thank you.
We'll be talking more Penn State football this week. Obviously, we'll be getting to more camp updates coming up tomorrow with Penn State open practice on Wednesdays. Make sure you subscribe on the BWI Daily Edition on YouTube. Help us with the almighty algorithm. You got to like the video, and then you got to share it with your friends. And of course, if you're watching, if you're listening on a podcast version, thank you for being one of the people that's made our podcast platform explode. We are so grateful to everybody who's following along, who's passionate about Penn State football. We want to bring you more great interviews like with AJ. So subscribe and rate, review, all that stuff, and we can keep doing it. That'll do it today for the BWI Daily Edition. We'll talk to you tomorrow.